All right, everybody, welcome back to WCS Challenger North America, where we are in 2 games already at the same time. Todd is in Pili versus Semper, where Pili is up 1-0. And you guys are currently looking at MaSa over here on the right bottom side. And you may see that his main base is a tiny bit empty, as he is once again proxying 2 barracks against our American Zerg player representing Storm Gaming. It is JonSnow. And we're going to have a cheeky proxy here, Todd, very early on. Straight into the game.
I don't know what's going on in the last few series and games, but we're having a lot of either very aggressive ones or then a lot of waiting periods. Like the game that I'm watching right now, Pili's cannon rushing and second CC and somehow chasing it away. And the previous game, Semper tried to proxy a barracks, it was scouted and he left. So
yeah, I was about
quite
to say,
action-packed games.
how on earth is that 1-0 already? I was like, did we miss something? Did the series start a while ago?
It's been 1-0 for a while as well, because Semper didn't want to waste any time after his proxy was scouted. And it's nice to see some players scout after all the proxies that we had happened before. And in that case, it looks like JonSnow definitely could use some of that.
Yep, as he is completely unaware of this bunker. You are correct. This STV is going to check the main base. We'll spot the spawning pool. We'll spot the gas timings as well. But this is going to be hard. It's no Reaper action. It's just Marines for now. And it's safe to say that JonSnow is going to have a hard time bringing this bunker down. You see 8 links on the production tab. Another bunker going up behind this. I like this a lot by MaSa. Rather be safe than sorry in case that JonSnow pulls everything and somehow kills the first bunker. He's going to make sure that that is not an option. Is JonSnow going to try to counterattack or maybe just intercept reinforcements? Not exactly sure how JonSnow plans on dealing with this. The spine crawler gets cancelled by these Marines.
And this is going really bad for JonSnow. Not sure what he's supposed to do here from there. It looks like he might just be forced to stay patient and make something out of it. Even that Queen coming out here, that's going to do nothing. Like, neither Cryptumor nor Inject will be used. He was just shot down by the Marines that were there. And off the back of this, MaSa can just make a bunch of STVs, play it safe, get his factory going, and start another command center whenever he wants to and has the economy for it.
Yep, I think you're spot on. I think all he has to do is pull a couple of SCVs here in time, make sure that these links don't enter the main. But even if they did, I mean, yeah, sure, there will be a couple of SCV casualties, but 4 links are not just going to save this game for JonSnow, who seems to be in a lot of trouble. And MaSa, his proxies today, proxied twice against Neep, or was it 3 times?
It was many times.
Yeah, kind of forgot about it. We saw a lot of games, we've been hopping around, but he's been proxying a lot against Neep, and now here against JonSnow as well. It seems like our Canadian Terran has no time to waste. He's going for it. JonSnow is going to make a last-ditch effort in trying to keep his hatch alive. Will he succeed in doing so?
These STVs going contested. He's now eventually targeting them, but MaSa can even repair one STV with the other. And save the day here as the bunkers will take out that also important hatchery from JonSnow. And I think this is going to put him in a lot of trouble here, in an almost unrecoverable position.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Only Bly could have gotten out of this one with like some secret niders or something, like some baning bust when somebody wouldn't expect it.
Bly is like, oh, this is my comfort zone. I've got 1 hatch. You know, I'm going to make it happen. But it's
he's doing the 2 bunkers. funny man.
JonSnow is in trouble. Couldn't agree more. Cloak Banshee is actually going to be the follow-up here as well for MaSa. That's quite brilliant against the 1-base Zerg that obviously doesn't have any tech. JonSnow's throwing up the desperation baning nest. But I think that JonSnow knows as well that this is a spot you never want to be in. And he's just going to try to make a last-ditch effort, maybe with a baning bust. But he still has to clean up the bunkers as well.
This is going to be the saddest baning bust of all time, I think. Like, even if there is enough, it's going to be like they're going to fight for their lives, almost as if they're trying to win the game right there and now by bailing busting these bunkers. But behind this, there is actually like a Terran on 2 bases making a real army.
Yep. And Hellions as well. Of course, Hellions can just take care of the links defensively. And then the Cloak Banshee could do some work on the other side. Maybe if JonSnow also throws up a Spore. I mean, all these links running by, obviously MaSa ain't crazy. He will see that amount of links. And then he also knows that JonSnow just has absolutely no economy. The only way that MaSa could ever be in some trouble is if JonSnow would have had a drone somewhere on the map that actually morphed into a different hatch. We know that's not the case, and I think that soon MaSa will know that that is not the case as well. He even spots this with the Han Solo Marine over here in the front.
Yeah, let's see the reaction there. MaSa should just be extra careful. Like, he's known for his micro as well. He's one of those guys that's really good at it. Not even gonna try to rewall, just like 1 bunker behind the initial wall. That one bench, he will fire away at a lot of those banelings and actually reduce their count greatly before the baneling bust does happen. He's ready to repair as well and maybe even re-wall if need be. Oh yeah, like I said, that is baneling bust ever, GG.
Yes, that did not go well. MaSa picks up a quick victory here in game number 1. Very important series between MaSa and JonSnow. The winner of that one secures themselves a finish in the top 4, which is obviously everything that this qualifier is about. Winning it is awesome, some extra WCS points, some extra money in the back, but making top 4, that is what these players all settle for in the beginning of this tournament. Because then you will get your trip paid, you get a guaranteed seed into the round of 32 for DreamHack Valencia.
That's the best of 3, I just remembered and edited the score actually here. The winner of this will face Neeb in what I think will also be maybe an elimination match. Force fields are going to go down. And Liberator still cleaning up house here. Pili will blink forward and try and end the game. There is Widow Mines, but they've already detonated, and that one bunker will be going down, as well as the Liberator that's there. It looks like a 2-0 Pili there.
There's no observer here, though, I believe, because this Robos is super late. I don't think Pili has enough, actually. I think Stamper should be able to hold, even though those Zealots are doing some real serious work. The last few Zealots are actually slicing away through these Marauders.
I feel like I'm watching like a 4-gate against a 2-racks opener here with these few units left against one another, but a lot of STVs have already died, and Pili is looking to try and end things here if he can. Stamper barely hanging on by the skin of his teeth. Revelation on these Widow Mines. Wow. He's going to get rid of them. And Pili can just pull back with the Stalkers, remove these depots from there, and just chase Stamper away from that one base there, and now find himself on 3 bases against a Terran that's been crippled.
Yep, and don't forget, Pili doesn't need to win the game here. He's got 1-1 upgrades, he's got 2 Robos, he has a Robo Bay on the way at the moment, he's making 2 observers at a time. I think Pili is more than satisfied with the amount of damage that he did. During all of this, he's at 69 probes, that's pretty crazy. The only thing I'd say, Todd, that Pili kind of needs is maybe a 4th Nexus.
Yeah, and he can't keep up with the aggression actually, because there really is not that much.
God, the Zealot. The Zealot, baby.
He's gonna clean up.
GG. Pili will advance to lower bracket round 3, I think. I said 4 already. No, 3.
Yeah, round 3. And that's actually not an elimination match. The winner, he will face Neeb, and the winner will then face True in an elimination match that will be tomorrow. So Pili Neeb will be now. Wow, I'll try to join that.
That is a sick game, actually. I love that. Pili against Neeb. Pili also a great PvP player, but Neeb obviously one of the best Protoss in the world when it comes to PvP. We can continue my upper bracket series as MaSa versus JonSnow is live. MaSa's up 1-0. Game number 2 is being played on Odyssey. Hopefully you guys are enjoying all the action. I know it gets a little bit hectic, but I feel that we're handling the crisis and the craziness quite well over here. We have been able to show a lot. Like, there are some times when you try this and it feels like you're always one step too late, right? Like, you want to show this and then you're a little too late.
You have to be lucky for sure, I think, a little bit with it.
I think today we definitely caught a lot of the big moments in pretty much all the series that we jumped in. Over here on the left top side, looking at the main base of a Canadian Terran. He's up 1-0. He wants to set straight that error of him not qualifying for Yon Shopping. It is MaSa, who looks really good.
And who must have been really disappointed, actually. Had a crazy series against Stamper. His opponent in the red, Sidestorm's JonSnow. Jared George.
That name is definitely growing on me. I like it a lot.
I feel like after today I won't be forgetting his name anytime soon.
For the first time, or at least for one of the first times, MaSa is actually building a barracks in his main. It's good to know that he remembered where barracks are supposed to be, and they're not necessarily always...
That's not on the map. That's where they're supposed to be when you play the game as him.
I guess, I mean, that's why barracks can fly, right? You can build them anywhere. You can always fly them home. So curious to see how MaSa goes up against JonSnow in a little bit more of an even game. This is still a best of 5, lower bracket up to round 4. I believe you round 4 it is, best of 3?
In the lower bracket, yeah, only the qualifying matches are back to best of 5, and that's round 4. So the losers round 3 is still best of 3.
So still plenty of space for JonSnow to, forget about game number 1 on Abyssal. Let's pretend it never happened. And obviously, let's not make that mistake anymore. Gotta love it though from MaSa.
JonSnow also, by the way, sorry, but if he... I could be wrong, but I think that if he lost there, he will fall to the lower part of the loser's bracket, which is where he will face either Silky, Bales, or Raze. That's definitely a doable matchup, I think, for him.
Yep.
But go on, continue.
No, I agree there. I don't even know what I was trying to say. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It wasn't. It was just some early game filler.
It's a little bit early, by the way, to call that. It's only 1-0. We're like, yeah, JonSnow,
Yeah,
he loses.
of course. Like I say, you know, this is a best of 5 still, so you can forget about it. What I want to say is that I do like that MaSa brought out the cheese immediately in game 1. I mean, it's a cliche. We spoke about it many times, but you definitely put your opponent on edge for the rest of the best of 5.
Yeah, and keep him scouting. Keep him honest. That's what we need to do with these Zergs. Because otherwise they drone up as much as they want to, and then everybody's in trouble.
Yeah, we saw that a little bit with Canning as well against Scarlet. Game number 1, Scarlet playing quite greedy, just making 2 links and nothing but drones. And game 2, we saw Canning bounce back with like 8 Dark Templars and 2 War Prisms. And that was a good way for him to settle the score. Unfortunately, in the end, it wasn't enough. Did Canning play in the lower bracket, Todd? Did he?
Yeah, he lost to Semper.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, Canning had a pretty tough challenger, but guess what? He still made it to challenger. He had, I would say, a good showing. Like, sure, 1-3 against Scarlet and 1-2 against Semper. He won maps, and definitely better than the previous times where in challenger so far he hadn't had any success.
Yeah, and with Scarlet and Semper, you're looking at 2 players that actually qualified straight through challenger last time, WCS Jonsnow. So
they'll get better and come back stronger, I'm sure.
Yep, not the easiest bracket for Decan, but still fun to see him compete, fun to see him qualify for challenger. So far in this game, not too much has happened. We're actually looking at a pretty macro-oriented ZvT. A couple of links from JonSnow being annoying there. Getting a Marine.
Yeah, SCVs will teach them a lesson. Oh my god, this guy don't even try to fight. That's not a complete wall so far from MaSa, but he got rid of the first few links, and I think he knows that with these Hellions across the map is alright for now. And JonSnow is starting to creep spread here quite heavily. I wonder if MaSa will try and deny that at all.
He's got a little bit of a Hellion hit squad here, but I guess he's just going to go for the main, try to get a couple of drone kills. How many links do we have on the map? Only 8. But there are 4 links in the main. So, I mean, obviously 4 links are not going to fight 4 Hellions, but if you drop them one by one, they might get surrounded. And that's exactly what happened there. Good job by JonSnow defending this with barely any units so far.
And the Queen was moving there. It's so funny, like there's the same thing when you play Protoss against Zerg, where like you know the Queens are coming as soon as you step, or like you go close basically to the Zerg base, whether it's with air units or with a Prism. As long as they've seen you, the Queens are always on their way, and I think MaSa knew that as well. So he's just going to take his time and drop where JonSnow wasn't looking, straight in the main base, barbecuing a lot of these drones.
Wow, that one Reaper created so much space for these Hellions to actually get an opening there, some extra medevac.
And he just gets out behind it, saves everything. This is sick, yeah, this did a lot.
You see this? It's like all 4 Hellions represent like a rainbow. It's like one is red, the other one is orange, a little bit of yellow, and then we had a green one. That's the most beautiful looking medevac I've ever seen. This Cloak is about to finish up. Did JonSnow ever get an Opus? No.
Oh, there's no Spore either on that base. And Cloak just finished. The drone hunting season here is completely open.
It might be more than just a hunting season. It might be a drone massacre, as that Oversteer is still going to take quite some time. The layer is only halfway done. Cloak Banshee showing up while Spore is not in position. MaSa is just finding openings today, left and right. And he's almost making look easy. He's getting so much work.
Yeah, JonSnow is having a terrible series just so far. He's living a nightmare against MaSa, who's just doing everything right, it seems like.
MaSa's dominating today. The first round, MaSa, let me just think real quick. I know that we obviously saw him take care of Neep 3-0.
Yeah, he beat Silky before that. We didn't show that series, but 3-0, very clean. Then against Neep 3-0, and it looks like it might be a 2-0 lead here against JonSnow. So
that is sick. What a run, 8-0 run.
And that would be 2 Canadians in the winners bracket finals, by the way, which they've been doing pretty well, I think, in all these challengers. Scarlet winning the previous one, and a lot of, I think, what was it like the previous one? I think it was like 7 or 8 out of 16 were Canadian. Domination.
The big north. The north is coming, Todd. Winter is coming. Well, not really. It's summer.
It's coming eventually.
Yeah. They're building up to it. Just wait until that one event. They're all preparing for WCS Montreal later this year. That's where they're all going to shine. These Banshees are just wreaking havoc. Like, this is not even funny. And I know, like, obviously you can look at the workers, you'd be like, ah, you know.
I can't because I'm looking at the supply.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Like
I'm worried.
JonSnow is kind of hanging in there when it comes to the worker department. But will he ever have enough units out by the time that MaSa is going to run across the map when he has +1? And Stim actually has 1-1 already, a double eBay behind this. I don't know, I'm very worried for JonSnow here. Barely any
He only
units.
started +2 attack. Okay, now there's the +2 armor. MaSa on point with everything. Even though he's behind on walkers, it doesn't really matter. Like 64 is enough off the back of 3 orbitals.
Look at this.
Oh my god.
That is insane.
That's the Terran Dream right there.
Yep. You invest 1 heli and 1 Reaper in the Marine, and somehow 32 drones ended up that. There's no way JonSnow can ever keep this gold alive. If I was John, I would probably cancel it. Otherwise, it's a complete waste of money. He will cancel it in the end. Does he have an answer against the drop in the main?
Doesn't look like at first. Or at all.
What a game.
Because 9 more drones are going down. What is this? It's just a slaughter.
Absolute massacre. Double medevac showing up over here as well. One Baning does get a good connection. There is a fight happening on the north side as well. At least JonSnow is sort of able to win this battle, but the main is just getting ravaged. The pool is gonna fall. Oh, he's gonna rebuild the pool anyway. I love the fighting spirit here of
Yeah,
JonSnow.
some resilience, but it's not all that matters here in StarCraft. And Hydralists against Marines as well. Good luck.
No upgrade. Marines do have upgrade. Well, yeah, gets the medevac there, full of units, but at least, I mean, one bright thing for JonSnow is that Painlink speed is about to finish up. Looking on the bright side of life.
Hydralist. Like, he's almost playing this like it's, you know, a ZvP, even though it would have been more melee upgrades instead of car pace. And it looks like they might be starting to be way too much. Is the amount of Widow Mines? Dear Lord, how is he supposed to engage into that?
I could have got a couple of big hits.
Whoa!
Well, at least the Banes
Like
too.
that, I guess. I didn't even see those paintings from there.
Speed Banes. Well, I mean, there's still a drop over here as well. And JonSnow being stuck on 3 bases.
Is that the one Banshee from the start?
6 kills.
One of them.
Yeah. Actually, that's probably Banshee number 2 that had a little bit of a field day as well. Then we do have MaSa cleaning up a couple of those Crypto wins as well. This just looks like an incredibly one-sided affair. Total domination by a Canadian Terran.
Yeah, this one a game against Terran as well. This kind of game where you're taking damage, you're being dropped all over the place. You know that in the meantime, you're not doing any kind of counter-harassment. Usually you know there is only one way this is going to end. Like the Terran is eventually going to overpower you. You can't defend forever. You need to... I don't know, you will need to counter Baning run by, but if JonSnow does that, he's going to die even quicker there because he won't have enough at home.
Another Marine drop in the main base was undetected, and that's going to be it. GG, MaSa takes a 2-0 lead in a very impressive game too, where I mean, in the end, yeah, he lost a couple of units. In the end, he managed to lose 4,000 resources because those Banes rolled in and, you know, the mines did some friendly fire. But early game, that's as clean as it will ever be. And it's a shame because it felt like JonSnow's defense at first was good. He had the links in position, he defended with only 8 links, which really wasn't all that bad. But then the Reaper ran into this third base, it drew the attention away. Somehow all the links went to the Reaper. MaSa picked up the Hellions again, went into the main, had a little barbecue like Todd said. And from that point on, it felt like it was the beginning of the end. Just set it up for the Cloak Banshees, which JonSnow wasn't ready for. Yeah, brutal game for our American Zerg.
And I mean, Neeb against Pili game 1.
That is
so again, that's going to be just the best of 3. And the winner will move on to phase 2. That will be played tomorrow in a best of 5 for a qualifying match.
Wow, so that means that it's either going to be Neeb or True, not qualifying, at least not directly. There's still a chance they go by themselves.
Maybe neither, if Pili beats both.
Yeah, that's possible as well. But that would... Okay, Pili has done a lot of great things in his life. But if he now beats Neeb in the lower bracket and then beats True in the decider match, that would be... well, that'd be something that we could talk about for a long, long time.
They paused the game and they couldn't resume because I'm referee, so only I could. So thank God I was looking.
All this power, Todd. What are you going to do?
I didn't even ask for it. That's the funny thing. Like, I don't know why they make me ref. Just leave me observer. I'm not going to say anything.
The game number 3 between MaSa and JonSnow is going to be played on Sequencer. I mean, PvP Sequencer early game is probably not too exciting either, so I guess we should just take a look at my game.
Yeah.
Because there's a good chance that MaSa is going to be aggressive once again.
Even though we eliminate somebody there, like this is technically the semifinals and the qualifying match, so this is the more important one. But to be fair, like it's looking like MaSa is just acing this tournament so far.
Yeah, MaSa is steamrolling. It sets us potentially up for a great upper bracket final, which obviously will be played tomorrow.
He's going full Teja, man.
Yeah, I know. Can MaSa go 9-0 to secure his ticket for WCS Valencia, or will JonSnow have a remarkable comeback? Well, let's start out and hop into Sequencer to see if our American Zerg can turn it around. He's going to have to do it against this Canadian Terran that's on quite a roll. Coming in like a freight train, Todd. It is MaSa, representing Elevate, teammates with Bills.
Like a wrecking ball.
Oh my god, you make me want to sing it, Todd. Don't do it. Don't do it. You know, I've got great news, Todd.
What?
Taylor Swift is back on Spotify.
She was not before?
No, for like 3 years. Taylor Swift was one of the very few, like, so to speak, or elite artists that did not have her music on Spotify.
Like she's not making enough millions already, like she needs more.
Yeah, well, basically the TLDR of her standpoint was that she feels that, you know, artists put a lot of work into music, and music is, you know, something that people should pay for if it's really good and you're a fan of it. So she didn't stand
They
behind.
pay for on Spotify.
Yeah, but she says that she doesn't get like a high enough cut from, you know, the amount of times that the
So
song
she
is
didn't
being
want the
played.
7 yachts.
Yeah, yeah, she didn't want a little extra. But now she sold 10 million tickets or 10 million albums, so she's like, all right, we can go back to Spotify. Some people also say it's because Katy Perry is releasing an album, and there is a little bit of beef between Katy Perry and Taylor.
Yeah.
But
maybe one day I'll care about this.
well,
I prefer listening to esport gossip than this. That's how much I care about that.
I don't care much about the gossip, but I'm kind of happy that Taylor is back, Todd. That's good news. A couple catchy songs. Over here on the right top side, looking at the main base of our American Zerg, it is JonSnow.
2 minutes 40 intro for the second player. Can we call the Guinness Book of Records? And the guys in production that cried before because we weren't introducing players, I'm sure they'd be happy to watch this VOD.
Well thought. I think at Home Story Cup from time to time we introduced players by the time that like banelings were rolling across the map. Now the spawning pool wasn't even done yet. So.
They probably have a drinking game there about this. They keep taking shots until we finally announce the players.
Yeah,
So they're smashed by the end of game 1.
as long as we don't have angry German producers in our ear, it's all good.
Where was that, actually? That there were a few times we introduced them late.
Introduce the players. Actually, I forgot. You know, when I do understand it, is in the old days we had a couple of very cool graphics. The Reaper has made his way across the map. He's gonna try to pick up a drone, but this shouldn't happen against the Zerg of the caliber of JonSnow on a map as large as Sequencer. Do you remember when NASL, like in the beginning of the game, you know, you introduce the player, and then you keep the nexus or command center centralized, and then like a little arrow went out with a little moving animation.
Oh
of,
yeah, I
like,
remember
MC.
that actually.
That was cool stuff, right?
GSL also has stuff like
Yeah,
that.
with like
But
little
like-
flags.
Yeah. Tasteless was working too hard, so they actually made a voice and recorded so that he only has to say, "Here is," and then the nickname.
Or
They had a few funny ones. The one with Alive was
Yeah,
so
the
funny.
one with Alive is great.
He's like the best one ever.
And he timed it well as well, yeah. And that's why he's the taste. All right,
The
we've
taste
got
we deserve.
a couple of links being annoying on the other side of the map, starting to work on this reactor, at least force MaSa to temporarily pull the STVs from the low ground. But MaSa too good to lose too much. End up losing a Reaper. Excuse me, a Marine. As we have a couple of drones being popped. Nothing so far here, Todd, on
I'd like to
Sequencer.
check out my game if possible, quickly.
I am definitely down for that, because these two are just going to macro
Yeah,
up.
so Pilly, he's going for a massive aggression against
Whoa.
a Nib who didn't expect it. Lost the pylon, even though he used overcharge before. That sentry is going to buy him some time.
Yeah, Guardian Shield is so big in these situations. It's amazing how much it reduces the damage.
Yeah, even killing the sentry, I agree, is like a whole lot tougher. I thought this was going to be scary at first, but it looks like Nib might be able to defend. Off the back of this, they're both going to have expansion, but he's going blink. Oh, here comes the Oracle.
I think you were still right about it being pretty scary, Todd. This is never good when you have to pull all your workers. Losing 5 probes gives Pilly the worker lead. And obviously, if there is one Oracle, Todd, there is often a second one.
He has no tech, that's the big problem. Like, gonna start a robo, but I mean, if you look at Nib already having blink on the way, like, he's defending this a whole lot better. I thought he was gonna lose, like, I don't know, 10 probes.
Do you think that Neep is going to be aggressive, though? Don't you think that's too risky against Oracles? I feel
Once
like
he has blink, I think, like, he can just leave a couple stalkers there. Obviously, by the time Blink finishes, he's going to have a whole lot more Stalkers. But right now, it's Pili attacking into this. Could even set up a Stasis wall down there if he wanted to.
Now, Pili is playing sick, though. I don't think there's a Mothership for right now for Neeb, right? Neeb knows he has to choose, and he cannot defend both mineral lines. Pili takes the lead in that series.
In the best of 3, he's one map away here from moving on to phase 2 in a qualifying match tomorrow and eliminating Neeb. That would be a huge upset.
Wow, I can't wait. We'll definitely keep a very close eye on game number 2 and let you guys know. Good call there, because I actually, at first I was like, okay, I think the Sentry is going to keep Neeb safe, but the Oracles, they made it so much more complicated. Obviously, you know,
the Oracle.
it kills workers though, so fast. But I think if Neeb would have been able to save the MS core, you can just save it to the main. And then, you know, your main is safe because the Mothership core you defend with Stalkers, but really getting the snipe on that was massive. The only thing we missed so far here in game number 3 were 4 Hellions. They went in, tried to create a little bit of a barbecue. They got 7 drones. So it's like, you know, it's not the dream. Like, I think 7 drones is something that a Zerg player can deal with in general. You can replace those drones, especially being on 3 hatches. And for the 4 Hellions, it's not that bad.
If you can equalize the walker count a little bit and you're on multiple orbitals, it's, I guess, alright. But in this case, like, on this map, I don't know why. Even like if the game is going a certain way and somebody's throwing in like the regular aggression, I still feel like no matter what, we're headed into the late game. It don't matter like what's happening. You know, big pushes, 2-2 push, who cares? He's gonna defend and then we're gonna go into ultras and like a longer game. Yeah, it's kind of like the state of mind that I have. Like it's not always true, but a lot of the time it's gonna be. Even that ZvT, I was joking, we're gonna see the unbeatable army, blah blah blah.
And we saw it twice.
Yeah, and it wasn't nearly as unbeatable as I thought.
No, I mean, you make a very valid point. For the people that at home wonder, why is this? It's because A, obviously Sequencer is a pretty big map. It's a long map. But B, it has a lot of like little ramps and little choke points in the middle of the map, which makes attacking in general a little bit harder. Going up ramps is always incredibly hard. And, you know, you want to be careful. You don't want to be surprised. There are many flanking possibilities as well. So putting all your eggs in one basket for a certain timing attack is often not the best thing to do because your opponent can be ready for it, can flank you from almost every angle, and that's one of the reasons why we just see so many macro-oriented games in this map.
A little bit worried for JonSnow here, who seems to not have seen this coming. If these medivacs were to boost inside that beautiful, juicy mineral line over here, there's a couple drones asking to die.
Well, the Queens are going to show up because this Viking kind of set up a trap. There's a tank in the mix as well.
He's doing like some sort of slow push from there, like a siege. Yeah. Pick up before the Banelings get there. Look at how many Banelings are getting rid of too. Like.
Wow, and he's keeping that tank safe because he left a couple of units behind.
JonSnow thought that was a naked tank. Actually, Queen gonna attack from afar, but Marines can reinforce, and MaSa,
wow,
almost, he's on the verge of acing here his qualification for Valencia.
Again,
on this challenger.
13 drones, 32 Zerglings, 7 Banelings. Well, we have one happy Zergling in the middle of the map that's trying to instead reinforcements, but if I was that lane, thought, don't pick that fight. This is not a fight you're gonna win, little guy. I think he eventually realizes as well. What a sick build again by MaSa. Just when we said it's hard to make certain timing attacks work, well, here we have it. And this is not an all-in. MaSa's on 3 bases. He's got 1-1 upgrade. His 2-2 is on the way.
From down there, and at this point, I almost feel like MaSa is calling out Scarlet. Where is she? Feed her to me.
That's going to happen tomorrow if it happens, but it's starting to look more and more and more likely. MaSa on just a fantastic run. He's going to be able to pick up those remaining drones with those 4 Marines that were left behind. Gets the hatchery as well with the tank. And JonSnow, it's safe to say, he's in a lot of trouble. I think he's going to try to clean this up right now.
Even the Queen's coming in. With some transfuses available, there is some Banelings in there that actually get some good connections. And JonSnow, can he defend this? No, the Mutas by themselves are too afraid to move in, so he loses a lot.
Maybe JonSnow can get the tank or the Liberator, but these 4 or 5 Marines are just standing strong. The Fuel, the Proud, the Mareni, the Marines thought. They ain't backing up, and 2-2 is about to finish up as well. MaSa is just on an unbelievable run today. He is making everybody know that him not qualifying for Yon Shopping directly, that was an incident, that was a mistake, and that won't happen anymore.
Putting them on notice here. Samper may have played really well in the previous challenger, but MaSa is back, and he's taking names left and right, playing some very solid games. No, it's not just the proxies. Like, he did a bunch of proxies, but his macros on point, his micro decision-making, everything here. looked absolutely beautiful so far today.
He is. I mean, like, I love JonSnow, and I've been praising JonSnow a lot, and I really think he's one of the absolute best Zergs there is in the NA scene. Right behind Scarlet, definitely, you know, like Panda, BME, Silky, they're all good. I think JonSnow is probably the second best, but MaSa is wiping the floor with him this series. There's no other way to put it. It's total domination. MaSa doubling the supply, getting Taurs, getting 2-2 done already, and a 4th base. With Planetary taking gas, refining. This is awesome play by MaSa. He's playing fantastic.
I wonder how dinner is going to go for him later with the family. It's like, yeah, I qualified for a tournament in Spain. Like, yeah, was it hard?
You know,
I don't know.
There's this stereotype, right, that Asian parents are always very hard and incredibly demanding. So, you know, normally if he would qualify, he'd be like, oh yeah, I won like 3-1, 3-2. And then his dad would be like, why not 3-0? Well, he 3-0'd everybody tonight. The family will
Couldn't
be
you
proud.
have done it faster? Dinner is cold.
It's like, Dad, no, like, you know, the other semifinals was barely beginning. Like, I was really as fast as I could. I was just waiting for my opponent all the time. JonSnow is going to roll in with a couple of banelings, but he's going to lose that hatch on the left top side. MaSa's going to save his Tor there as well. A lot of bio units did die here, but I mean, there is a drop, I think, in the main as well. Ooh, Spore Crawler does take out that Medevac, but I mean, MaSa is everywhere. JonSnow does have 2-2 upgrades himself, but he's going to need a small bit. What? MaSa dropped mules! And he's mining mules out of the main. What is this?
He's stealing his minerals, man. He's
He's
starving
Buddha.
him.
I believe
Anywhere they can.
Wow.
They actually spare them.
Do they make it at home, you think, to deliver those minerals?
Check the timer. Yeah, they might.
Smoothers are like, I believe.
Don't let them escape with it.
I believe you guys got something that's ours. This is like in Warcraft 3 when a Kodo beast eat a fiend, you know?
Oh yeah, that's like the sickest. And this one doesn't have a speed scroll to escape. MaSa ready to put an end. And actually the Mutas, they are going across the map, so they're not even at home for the defense here for JonSnow, who's just going to get ripped apart here by this bio.
A couple of Banelings, I think, we're rolling in as well. Now there's Zerglings on the right side. Yeah, the Mutas are doing a decent job, but more mules being dropped as well. JonSnow knows it. This game is over. He's dancing the links. He is allowing this to become a real bloodbath because he knows Pig is out there watching somewhere. Drones dancing left and right, and MaSa maxed out, by the way, top 12 minutes into this game. Sick. What a game.
With a lot of action as well. I guess he didn't lose. He traded super well when he was pushing the 3rd base of JonSnow.
7-3, 50k.
Yeah.
Ouch.
As clean as it gets here from our Canadian Terran.
He's going to qualify for WCS Valencia. Once again, JonSnow saying this didn't go well today. That is indeed the best way to look at a series like that. Just forget about it.
Just